All right, let's dive into a really fascinating philosophy about spiritual energy and our real connection to nature. It all kicks off with a pretty surprising observation and then builds to this powerful idea about what our purpose truly is. So let's get right into it. So this whole thing starts with a simple, personal story. The speaker, Cheng Gung, decided to take a cruise. But get this, it wasn't for a vacation. He was there on a mission, a kind of field study, to observe the energy of people who had, achieved a certain level of material success. He was looking for a kind of spiritual fullness, but what he found was, well, not what he expected. He wasn't just people watching in the usual sense. He was trying to gauge the spiritual mass or quality of the travelers. He figured, hey, these are people who've made it, who have the time and resources for this kind of leisure. He expected to find this real sense of purpose and fullness in them. But as he spent time observing, he just didn't feel it. That deep spiritual energy he was looking for, it was missing. And it's really important to understand, this isn't a knock on the people themselves. It's actually the starting point for a really profound explanation about how we connect with the world's energy and what most of us might be missing out on. Okay, so this observation, this disappointment, it leads us to a really core concept he calls the 3-7 rule of nature. It's a way of understanding the two main sources of energy that are actually available to us. The way this philosophy explains it, our life on land, our jobs, our daily struggles, our studies, even when we go hiking in the mountains, all of that is where we build our base. It's absolutely essential, for sure, but it's only part of the story. In fact, all that foundational energy we build up through our everyday lives, it only makes up about 30% of what's really available to us. Think of it as the groundwork, the prerequisite for something much, much bigger. So where's the rest? Well, the other, much larger source of energy is found when we venture out into the vastness of nature. The great oceans are the perfect symbol for this. This is where we can plug into a much more powerful, more expansive kind of energy. So here's the crucial point. A whopping 70% of nature's energy is out there, just waiting. But, and this is a big but, simply being there, going on a cruise or hiking a trail, doesn't mean you automatically get access. There's a key. You have to have the key to unlock it. So if just showing up isn't enough, then what is? What's the secret? Well, according to this philosophy, the answer isn't about where you are physically. It's all about who you are on the inside and what you're thinking about. The argument here is that nature operates like a perfect intelligent system. It's not just handing out its best energy to anybody. It literally provides an energy that precisely matches the quality of our own thoughts. And this just lays it out so clearly. Low-quality thoughts, those are the ones focused completely on yourself, my gain, my comfort, my problems. But high-quality thoughts are the total opposite. They're focused outward on how to help others, how to benefit society, how to make the world a better place. So a person with a self-centered mindset, no matter where they are, they could be meditating on a ship right in the middle of the ocean. They simply can't tap into that high-quality energy. Nature's system is automatic. It just matches your internal frequency, and that's it. Now, this idea is a real game changer because it completely reframes what we even mean by spirituality. It kind of pulls it away from all the supernatural stuff and grounds it right here in our own personal and social development. To really get it, we have to look at the specific Korean term for spirituality, Yongsong. The source makes a point to tackle this word directly, to clear up what it says are some really common and pretty deep misunderstandings. Okay, check this out. It's a really stark contrast. On one side, you have what people often mistake for spirituality, a state called Jeopsin, which is all about seeing visions, connecting with spirits, that kind of thing. But the source argues that's not the real deal. True Yongsong is about developing your naegong, your inner strength, your character, through real study and effort, all for one reason, to help other people. So let's just nail this down. The big takeaway is that spirituality isn't about what you can see when your eyes are closed. It's about becoming a person of high quality with the inner strength and wisdom to actually make a positive contribution to the world. It's an active, social, real-world practice. So, where does all this lead? This whole philosophy of building yourself up for the good of others isn't just a nice idea. It actually culminates in a very specific call to action, a mission aimed at the generations who, according to this, were raised for this exact purpose. And this mission is aimed squarely at baby boomers and Generation X. The idea is that they were educated with this concept of having a historical mission for the nation, to serve a greater good. The time to fulfill that mission is now, but not as workers in the way they used to be, but as social parents, wise elders who can guide and teach the rest of society. And hold on, this isn't just about joining a volunteer group and handing out soup, as good as that is. The mission starts from within. The number one job is to develop yourself first, to build that inner quality we've been talking about, so that you have something of real value to offer as a guide for a new way of living. So, how do you do it? Well, the path forward is laid out pretty clearly in 3 internal steps. First, you have to consciously work on reducing that focus on yourself. Second, you have to actively study and think about how to live a life that benefits other people. And third, through that process, you grow your inner strength and quality, your 내gang. And so, we're left with this final question to think about. And it really doesn't matter what generation you're from. It's a challenge to look inward before we can truly act outward. As the slide asks, what is the historical mission you were born for?